Hi guys, I'm Jenn Johns. I've got a quick buttercream piping tutorial for you today. I'm going to show you how to make all these different cupcakes using only 4 tips. I've got a 1M, a 32, a petal tip, and a basket weave. Let's get started. 1M tip is perfect to make little hydrangea bushes here. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking my star tip here and I am going to cover the entire base and then I'm going to build upwards as well. So I'm just going to do this covering the whole cupcake top and it's meant to look like a little hydrangea bush. I'm using the 1M tip. It's my favorite one for decorating cupcakes with. I'm going to make a rosette by just piping around the center, going all the way around to the outside, and then when I get around to the end, just pull away. The 1M tip is the perfect one for making a classic cupcake swirl. Start with a dollop in the center to build height, and then going around that dollop in the center, we're going around and coming up to the top. Stop, squeeze, and pull away. Using a 104 tip, I've got the wide part towards the outside, and what I'm doing here is just creating like a daisy effect as a flower here. So I'm just starting my pressure and squeezing quite hard at the outside, and then I am releasing pressure as I come towards the inside, and I'm just trying to keep my petals sort of uniform and as close together as I can, and I'm just keeping the tip vertical, and I'm squeezing from the outside onto the inside here, and I'm stopping my squeeze before the inside because you're going to get a little bit of a mound, but finish off the cupcake with a little sixlet and you will have a cute little flower. Using the 104 tip, I'm going to pipe pretty much a ribbon rose, but I'm going to wiggle it here. So I'm going around in the center first, and then I'm coming outside. And as I'm moving, I'm going to start to turn my tip a little bit of the ways outward. And you can see that I'm just building from around the outside. This tip is super versatile. Now, if you didn't want this ribbony look, like the kind of wiggles, you can go around it smoothly if you can keep your hands steady for that long. Also, using like a bigger one of the petal tips works really well too. A 125 will work, and I'm using the 104 here for this one. So I'm just going completely around the outside here, and then I'm going to finish it off right at the end here with a stop, just stop and pull away. So now I'm using a 104 tip. Now this is a petal tip and it's extremely versatile. Now I'm going just around, I'm going to ruffle the whole top of my cupcake here. You can go as crazy or as simple as you want to. Just move it around, make a lot of little zigzagging patterns, and it makes a really cool top to the cupcake. You can use it with any of the sizes of the petal tips. They all look really cool. Using a 125 tip, I'm just going to pipe like a little rosebud in the center here. And then with the wider part of the petal tip touching the base of the cupcake, what I'm doing is just piping kind of up and around that rosebud, and I'm making little petals. As I move towards the next row, I'm trying to alternate the petals in between the ones that I put in the previous row. So I'm just piping, and as I move towards the outside, I am changing the angle of my tip so I can fit the petals in between the cupcake wrapper and the cupcake itself. Using a number 32 tip, I'm going to create mini rosettes on this one. So I'm going all around the cupcake with these little mini rosettes, and they're super adorable. This is probably one of my favorite ways to dress up a cupcake. And you can use any color, you can use any French tip, this one is called. You can do one layer or you can add a couple layers to build a little bit of height into the cupcake. Using a number 32 tip, I'm going to just create little shell borders here. And what I'm going to do is just make this like almost like a little question mark. And I'm making a round thing and I'm just keeping the same pressure. And I'm squeezing from the edge, bringing it into the center in that little, almost like a laying down shell or an S like I was saying. So I'm just going around like this. You can do this with any type of like star tip that we've got. Now I'm going to reverse my pattern and go the other way on the second layer. You can stay at one layer if you prefer. I just kind of like how it looks when we've got that change here in the direction of the little shell here. So I'm going around and then I'm going to finish it off right here with one like that. Using the number 32 tip, I'm going to do a shell border, kind of different than what you might normally see. I've got 2 colors of buttercream here in my bag, and I'm just building shells all throughout the top of the cupcake, and I'm starting from one side and then moving over to the other side. And it gives a really easy and kind of cool looking effect, especially with the 2 colors. It does look really cool when you only use 1 color as well, but definitely try doubling some of your colors or even tripling them to give a new look to cupcakes. I have a number 32 tip here, and I'm building my shells from the outside in. So I'm putting my pressure on the outside, building up, pulling away from the center of the cupcake, and then pushing my end towards the inside. So I'm just going around, rotating my cupcake with my hands here, and just making that shell shape onto the inside there. Now to finish off the center, I'm going to come back around again with the shells and finish it off in this like that. Using a basket weave tip, I'm going to pipe little petals here. Now I've got my ridges of my basket weave tip here facing upwards, so you're showing the ridging in there. Now you can also flip it upside down, and the tip that I have in my bag is ridged on the one side and then is flat on the other side. The tip I have down on the table happens to have ridges on both sides, and that actually makes basket weaving a lot easier with the ridges on both. You don't have to worry about the positioning of your bag. But here I am, but if you do have one of these older ones that only have the ridges and the flat, then what you can do is do a second cupcake with the regular flat side facing out, and you'll have 2 different ways to decorate a cupcake using one single tip. So I'm just going to finish this one off. And again, I've got double the icing in here. So I've got the pink and the blue, and it's making a beautiful purple. Using a basket weave tip, this is a number 47, I've got my ridges in towards me, and I'm just starting out wide towards the outside of the cupcake, and then I've got my tip vertical, and I'm bringing it narrower into the center. If you don't hit the center, it's not a big deal off the top, because you can always manipulate it afterwards as you work towards the other side. So as we're going around, I'm just keeping my tip straight up and down, and bringing it into the center, staying nice and wide. You can do this with any sort of tip that's angled like this one. And well, really, you could do it with any kind of tip. It's kind of a versatile one. But what I like about the basket weave tip is that it gives you a plain side and a ridged side, so it adds a little bit of dimension to your cupcake decoration. And you can finish it off here with one final one, bring it to the top, and there you go. So there you go, guys, how to make all of these different cupcakes using only 4 tips. If you have a decorating tip that you want to challenge me to use, leave a comment in the comment box, and also let me know which technique you liked the best. See you guys all again next time.